Well, yes, absolutely. All drugs should be legalized in the West. Here in America, we have a primary document of our union which guarantees life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, if the pursuit of happiness does not mean the right to self-experiment with substances on your own consciousness, it must then be utterly meaningless. So, yes, I view the psychedelic issue as part of the long march toward human freedom that has such signposts along the way as the abolition of slavery, the giving of women of the vote, the inclusion of black people into the processes of democratic society, and the establishment of the universal right of people to take substances to alter their consciousness. It's all about the triumphal march toward a society where the dignity of the individual is always the first value to be honored. We do not want to be ruled by the fears of Christian fundamentalism or the shallowness of scientism or the dreary spiritual emptiness of materialism. We want to connect first to our bodies and through our bodies to the planet. This is what hallucinogens, psychedelic plants, this is what the shaman are about. And thank God for it, because we have entered into the final countdown for the apocalypse. If we don't find our spiritual center and set a course out of the storm of history created by science run amok, then we will have no world to leave for our grandchildren. What are we to do about the casualties we leave along the way, and how are we to respond to that? We must educate ourselves. We must explain to people and give people a new language for talking about substances and consciousness alteration. The word drugs has been so poisoned by the establishment that it means everything from aspirin to heroin to LSD. We need to educate ourselves and our children about what drugs really are and what they do. The current approach, which is to deny all drugs except the ones which support the major industries, has failed. And so we need to say, heroin does this, psilocybin does this, E does this. In the same way that we have finally, I hope, learned to educate our children about their sexual options and opportunities, we need to raise the quality of discussion in the area of drugs, educate people, and then we won't have casualties. We won't have ruined lives and low awareness lives. You see, if you take a plant that has been used by human beings for thousands of years, then you have your medical research data. You have your human exposure sample. If it's been taken for thousands of years by men, women, and children, as the mushroom has in central Mexico, then we know that it doesn't cause tumors or blindness or infertility. With drugs which come out of the laboratory, even pure, we don't know the long-term effects. And then, in practical terms, you have to add that underground chemists often are not as competent as they might be, or not as careful as they should be, and so you're getting an inferior cooking of a chemical which was questionable in its application in the first place. So I believe that for deep work, for lasting work, it's the shamanically sanctioned traditional plant hallucinogens that carry us into really deep water. On the other hand, certainly for centuries, all kinds of chemicals have been used to grease the flow of social interaction and to party down, basically. And I have no quarrel with that, but that's an entirely different issue than the deep use of these things for shamanic and spiritual purposes. Okie doke? Good, good.